Hi, my beauties and gents. How are you doing today? I am back full force, kind of. How are you guys doing today? I just came on here for an impromptu, hella ambitious recording because I shared something the other day on my stories that you guys all found kind of interesting. And I get to elaborate on that a little bit more with this episode, which is how your subconscious mind can be holding you back. And I think that this subject needs a lot more education out there in the world. It's something I have been studying for quite a long time, even unknowingly. I feel like I used to, I interchanged the word subconscious with intuition, which is something that I have been deep into for a really long time. And I think just as things have progressed over the years, it's less woo woo, less about meditation and all that stuff, and more about science now, which is great. Neurology, neuroscience, which I love and I'm super geeked about all the time. So, I want to talk today about how your subconscious can be holding you back from, anything that you are really wanting and desiring at this point. This is a hella ambitious recording. So, obviously, we're going to talk about business and mindset. So, in terms of your business, it could be holding you back in terms of creating the business of your dreams, life of your dreams, all the things. I don't want this particular episode to go into exactly like super in depth of what the subconscious is, because I think it, merits its own whole recording, probably a bonus episode because it would be probably kind of long. But I want to give you guys a gist. I want to give you guys layman's terms of what your subconscious is, and why it's so important, and then how it can be holding you back. And also, I want to give you guys obviously always takeaways of like how you can start using it for your benefit versus letting it kind of take over in a negative way, right? So first of all, your subconscious, there's your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind. And the reason I love calling myself a mind and body coach, other than the fact that like obviously I love wellness and all those things, is that the mind and body connection is so real, and it's linked together by your nervous systems and stuff like that. And then including your subconscious is governing your sympathetic nervous system, and then your conscious mind governs your other nervous system, and they talk to each other, and that's how they interact, right? Mind and body connection. So that's another reason why I obviously love calling myself a mind and body coach, just easier because that connection is really real. So it governs 95% of what you do. Okay. So again, don't want to get too crazy into like all the principles of the subconscious, but it keeps your heart beating. It has a perfect blueprint of who you are. It controls your emotions. It just runs the body like when you're sleeping. It generates all your energy. It processes all your negatives. It just holds like everything. It's like literally like the picture that they always give is like an iceberg, and your conscious mind is just at the 5% little top, and the subconscious is always like that 95% big iceberg down below, basically driving the show. So if you want to think about it like this, another big aspect of it is that it kind of holds all those memories, and it holds all those things, all those beliefs in pictures in your mind. So if you want to, like if I said, think of a cup of coffee right now, right? You don't necessarily think CUP, right? You don't like spell out the word coffee. You probably picture something in your mind. So the way that you're holding those images and the emotions you have in regards to those images are really what's kind of driving your beliefs, and then also driving your reality. right? So, in a way, that is the best way I could probably, in a quick little nutshell, explain the subconscious. That it is just basically driving 95% of what you do. So clearly, it is something that we would love and would really benefit from getting a hold of, like really learning how to work with, right? So that we can start creating what we actually want instead of letting these things kind of just work, in the background, right? So, because right now I'm not telling my heart to pump, I'm not telling my poor lungs to breathe, even though I should be. This baby's getting bigger. But at the same time, it's doing its job, right? It's like the little elves in the background doing its job. And working with your subconscious mind can be so beneficial in so many ways, because obviously then you get to have a little bit more control of what's going on in your reality. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know, you guys might know, might not know, but I've been getting my certification in NLP, which is basically like the language of the mind, time techniques and hypnotherapy and EFT and all those things. I could have been done with my certification a long time ago, but I personally am just such a geek about it that I really wanted to take some time to integrate, implement, work with my peers, and really dive into this for myself. For myself, right? And, just see how it works, right? So I think that that's, one of the biggest things that I can give to my clients is just really honing my own skills and, doing my own work, because I think that that's where a lot of people, they just want to, I don't know, they just want to go towards whatever their next goal is, and they don't take the time to do the work. And if you don't take the time to do the work, then I don't feel like you can really help your clients as powerfully as you would imagine, right? So I've been taking a lot of time to do the work, you guys, and I wanted to share my experience of like how I had a subconscious block that was holding me back that I had no idea about, and I couldn't have known without these amazing tools that I am studying and getting certified in. So I have always known that I've had a bit of a limiting belief in terms of, and I can't tell you exactly because like the wording is going to be very, because the subconscious mind is very specific. That's another, attribute of it, right? So I don't know the exact limiting belief that I was working on, because again, your subconscious mind is what's holding those belief systems. And let me just backtrack real quick. There's like a universal subconscious. There's your subconscious that you build yourself between the ages of 0 to 7. And the problem with that, I don't know if it's a problem, but the reality of that is that during that time, you don't have any critical, like mental, like you don't have a lot of critical like faculties with your mind. Like you're just like absorbing everything. That's why kids just kind of like, take everything as is, like Santa Claus is real and all that stuff. So you can just be kind of intaking a lot of things that are not even necessarily true during that time. And you just don't have the ability to be like, oh, that's not true. Like my parents do love me or whatever, like it's just very, very interesting stuff, without going too in depth about it. And the other thing is like, you can also be taking in things generationally, things before you were even born, with that a universal subconscious. So that's kind of the gist of it. So, and that's why it's so powerful, and that's when it's forming within you, and kind of how it's affecting you prior to, in the future, things like that. So, I don't remember what my limiting belief was necessarily, like that I was working on. But I do know that I did a technique. So it's called time techniques. It's where you kind of mentally travel your timeline and you pinpoint the point in your life where this limiting belief occurred. And I kind of thought I knew everything, you guys, in terms of like, especially like I had never had any like past experience things. I don't know, like anything like that. I just felt like I don't have any weird like things going on. I don't have any psychic abilities or anything like that. But turns out that when I traveled my timeline to figure out this limiting belief of, let me give you guys like at least kind of like what I think it was. It was some kind of success thing, right? Some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of success thing. I don't really know. It turns out that I took on a limiting belief that stemmed from before my birth. And what I saw was my mom, who had a miscarriage, and that is true. And somehow I took that on for myself as like a burden to kind of make it worth it for her. Like all her sacrifices, everything, all her hardships that she's been through, I kind of took on this success kind of like burden role thing that I'm trying to achieve as a way to kind of make up for her pain, which was insane, right? Like it's like, how could I have ever known that? And I did have like some astrology reading, like a while ago. And I remember the lady saying like, hey, like you don't have to make up for your mom's life or something along those lines. And I remember like being super emotionally charged about it because I just care for my mom so much. That's what I thought, like I thought it was just because obviously like she's had 7 kids. She's such a selfless lady. She lives for her kids. Like she just, like this lady is just like an angel on earth in my eyes. So, she could just do no wrong for me. And, and she had a really hard time with my dad. My dad was like an alcoholic and stuff. She just has had a pretty tough life, right? And for some reason, like I take that on of like, okay, I want to, give her everything, like almost like she's doing for me. She wants to give me everything that she's never had, and I want to give her still stuff that I've never had or that she's never had, right? So it was really emotionally charged. And again, like how you hold those pictures in your mind and the emotions that you have behind them are kind of what's shaping your reality and things like that. So definitely with these techniques, you're able to shift your emotions around those pictures. So see, I can now talk about it probably without getting emotionally charged about it because I don't have the same emotions in regards to that memory, or even like, it wasn't even it wasn't even a memory that I knew existed, that I was conscious about, right? So very interesting stuff. That's a technique that we do, is called time techniques. And again, you travel your timeline and you kind of figure these things out. And it was extremely eye-opening for me, you guys, because while doing this certification, while doing this work, while doing all these practices and stuff when working with clients, I was kind of like, okay, cool, like, release limiting beliefs. But like, until I had experienced that myself, and it was so interesting and so out of the norm of like, oh, just releasing a limiting belief here or a negative emotion there. It was like, whoa, like this is powerful stuff that I could not have prepared for. I couldn't have predicted that that's what was going on in my subconscious by any means. And again, like, your subconscious is just like, sometimes, like I remember one time I wrote a post recently, and I was talking about kind of like, your inner child and like how you can have your own back and, things like that. And then somebody commented like, oh, your parents probably did the best they could or something like that. And I was kind of like, well, who mentioned anything about my parents? First of all, yes, they did. But it has nothing to do with nothing, because your subconscious is just so like, it's not logical in a sense, right? It's just not logical. It's not like you were able to differentiate things when you were little and stuff like that. You didn't have any of those critical faculties to be able to do that. You were just kind of absorbing everything as is. And you couldn't really, decipher this was right, this was wrong, this was actually meant this is, whatever. You couldn't, there was no logic there. So it has nothing to do, sometimes it has nothing to do with your parents. It has nothing to do with anything like that. So that was something that was holding me back in terms of like, you know, my ambitious journey, my success, like going to the next levels, reaching for something, new goals, everything that we do in our business and in our lives, right? When we're reaching for more, when we're trying to excel, when we're trying to build something new, when we're trying to climb a ladder or whatever. So, when we're striving for something else, right? We're hella ambitious. So when we do that, of course, there's things that come up, right? Because you are going to face something different, right? If you're not, then you would already have whatever it is that you're striving for. And that's just the truth, right? So when you're going for something more, when you're going for something different, it doesn't even have to be something more. It could just be something different. Then you're going to face other things. And sometimes it's the same thing that you're going to face. Like, I might not be done with this limiting belief in the sense of like, the way it looks like right now. But when I go to my next level, it might, be and look a little bit different, but it might come from the same place. Who knows? I have no idea. We'll only know when we get there. But luckily now I have amazing tools and an amazing awareness about it that, I don't have to, think about like it, or it doesn't have to slow me down anymore, right? And that's the point, because even now that you have that awareness, now that I have that awareness, it doesn't have to slow me down anymore, okay? Which is amazing because, awareness is something that is really, really overlooked, and it can be the difference that makes up, good morning. And then, okay, so that's it. So that was my experience. I wanted to really share that with you guys because it's weird. I know it's weird. I know it's like crazy, weird subconscious mind techniques and stuff like that. Like I'm not going to like sit here and be like, oh yeah, hey guys, like this is like absolutely normal. We're doing this, like like on our, I don't know, like on a Tuesday. It's just like nobody does this. We go to, we take our kids to school, we go to work, we come home, maybe we exercise, we watch some Netflix. Nobody's really like, doing like subconscious mind techniques every single day. So I'm not going to sit here and say like it's absolutely like normal, but these are amazing, powerful tools that exist so that you can work with your subconscious mind, because that is definitely real. That is definitely going on. It is definitely driving the show. It's 95% of what you're doing, right? It is definitely affecting you. So if you're able to kind of learn how to work with it, even just a little bit, learn how to work with the pictures in your mind, learn how to, learn how to not control, but also work with the emotions that you have in regards to those pictures. And then you will start affecting the mind and body connection that you have with your subconscious and your conscious mind, right? The vibration, your vibe. And then you'll also start affecting your reality. So how things come about, the things that you now notice, the things that now you're able to take advantage of in terms of opportunities or whatever, you know what I mean? Because that's how it works, right? If I told you, to start thinking about a yellow car, I promise you, you're going to start noticing more yellow cars on the road. And that's just how it works, okay? So I do have 3 questions for you guys to hopefully help you start navigating this subconscious mind stuff and start seeing how maybe it's holding you back. Because again, awareness is key. Like if you can just start even having a little bit of awareness of the things that could be holding you back, you can really start releasing a lot of the hold on those things, right? Because, okay, now I'll show you, I'll give you guys a good question here. So the first one is, if you want to take a specific subject, right? If you want to take your business or whatever it is, just start thinking, what are your beliefs about it? Okay, what are your beliefs about it? I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and she's like really, I guess, trying to, she's really ready for a relationship, right? And she's like, oh, I've been doing all this work and this and this and that. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just asked her, I'm like, well, so what are your beliefs about, like, what do you think a limiting belief is about about relationships? Like, and she's like, oh, there's no way to have a successful relationship in Miami. And I was like, oh, well, that's a problem, because all this work that you're doing supposedly on yourself and this and that is gonna like if you believe that it's not even possible to have a relationship in Miami, then it's not going to happen. Like, because those are your beliefs about it. That's it. That's what you believe. Like, and if that's what you really believe, if you're not just telling me that, then unfortunately that's what's going to just kind of keep manifesting. You're going to keep getting what you believe. Not what you want to believe, not what like you're working on, but what you believe. Again, when you feel your nervous system working together and you can feel that it's true, then that's what you're going to get. Okay, so what are your beliefs about what it is that you want to focus on in the moment right now? Number 2, how does your body feel? What emotions do you have associated with it? So when you say something, when you say like, I'm a happy person, right? What does it feel like? Where do you feel it? What tingles? What contracts? What emotions come up? Things like that, because that's going to be a really big indicator of like whether you think something is true or not. Okay? So, really think about it. Like, really think about what, how it feels in your body, because again, more awareness is going to be key. Okay? So the more that you can feel like, oh, I feel like I'm not 100% believing this because I can feel it in my gut and I feel like it's not 100% true to me, then obviously, it's going to not help you out, right? So how does it feel in your body? What emotions kind of come up when you are thinking about these beliefs? Start having some awareness around that, okay? So again, more awareness, the more you can start working things out, the more you can start dismantling these just limiting beliefs, because they're just beliefs. They don't need to define you ultimately, right? And the last question, how can you find evidence for what you want? Okay, another way to really start looking to see how you can dismantle these limiting beliefs is finding evidence. So when my girlfriend was like, oh, there's no way you can find a successful relationship in Miami, I sent her a picture of me and my husband and my daughter, and I'm like, well, these guys, they figured it out. She came from Miami. I found him in Miami, and they're doing pretty good. I don't know, like, she seems happy. 2 kids later, 5 years later, marriage later, like all the things. I can't say enough good things, right? So I was like, this is evidence. This is exactly, like, I was in Miami. I almost thought the same exact thing, right? I caught myself in that time not believing that, I was a cocktail waitress. I was a bottle service girl. Did not see a lot of, successful relationships out there or anything like that. But I just chose, for whatever reason, because I didn't even know about the subconscious work at this time, but I just chose at that time to say, not me. Like, I deserve to have a successful relationship no matter what career I'm in, no matter what stage in my life I'm in. I'm worthy and deserving of that now. So I know I'm not a relationship coach, guys, or anything like that, but that is really my kind of manifestation story in terms of my relationship, is that I really worked on those beliefs, right, during that time. And so and again, like, I believed it, right? Like, my body was, when I said it, I believed it. There was no kind of, because it is the the false belief that neutralizes anything that you desire, right? If you have any contradicting belief towards whatever it is that you're desiring, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not, it's like trying to tell a taxi driver to like go to the store, and you're like, go right, oh, actually go left, and go back to the house. We got to go pick up, like, he's going to be like, just get out of the car. You know what I mean? So like, you can't have anything contradicting that. That's just the way it is. And that's the work. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So yeah, what evidence can you find? So I sent her obviously a picture of us, and I was like, this is evidence. This is evidence. And it is true. It is just true. Right. So I have a successful relationship. I came from Miami. She has that means that it is possible and true for her. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So and that's the focus, right? So number one, what are your beliefs about whatever it is that you want to kind of focus on? Number two, how does it feel in your body? What are the emotions that are coming up? And number three, how can you find evidence for what it is that you do want? And that's going to kind of move you out of that and forward. All right, you guys, I got to go. But this has been great. And listen, I just opened up a 1 month intensive. It's a new offer for me. This is going to be the only way to work with me, one-on-one, until my maternity leave is basically over next year. So it's a 1 month intensive. It's business, it's wellness, and it's mindset. This is my method. We work together for all of that together. And it's going to be intense. It's like a 1 month intensive, but you get a whole month with me. Let's just say that. Okay, so you get Monday to Friday access with me via Voxer. That means, voice notes, text messages, like whatever it is. Because we're going to get really focused on what it is that you want to get really focused on. Okay, so usually my programs are about 3 to 6 months, but those are more of like business programs. I take you through like, creating your business, all that stuff. But these are just more like, you are at a certain level in your business and you want to get to your next level. And you know that right now it has been like mindset blocks or something that has been kind of holding you back, right? So we are going to get really focused and honed in on those things so that you can collapse time to go to your next level faster, right? Because sitting around with like, oh, I'm not good enough, or, and actually, what were those limiting beliefs you guys had that you guys, there was a lot of like money mindset, imposter syndrome, I didn't go to college, all these like things, all these like, limiting beliefs that are just weighing you down. Maybe that they're not completely stopping you, but they're definitely just like slowing you down. Like why go slower when you can just go faster, right? Why waste so much time, energy? And that's what you guys all want, right? You guys, I want more time, I want more energy, I want more whatever. And this is how you do it. You just like let go of those things that are holding you down. So the mindset work is so needle moving that I know that you guys are going to love working in this 1 month intensive in this way. Okay, so if you guys are interested in that, you want to know more about it, then definitely DM me the word ready. We can have a chat, we can get on the phone, we can do whatever it is that you need to do, apply, and we can get started. All right. I will talk to you guys